Welcome back. The St. Lucia Teachers Union says it remains concerned about the welfare of both teachers and students, given the current spike in COVID-19 cases, as well as the announcement that St. Lucia now has confirmed 5 cases of the UK variant of COVID-19. The SLTU president is calling on the Ministry of Education to reassess the situation.
Schools have reverted to a blended modality of learning for the next 10 days. The St. Lucia Teachers Union was one of the many advocates who called for a delay of the reopening of schools until the spike in cases being recorded on Ireland was contained. On Tuesday, President of the SLTU, Don Howell, explained that there are still many reservations on the part of the union.
The SLTU remains concerned because the cases continue to spike. And this is creating a lot of anxiety, a lot of unease amongst teachers who have to be on plant and engage in face-to-face instruction. We would hope that the Ministry of Education would look at the current situation and make the necessary decisions in the best interest of health and safety of our nation's teachers, our nation's children.
He says it is questionable as to why teachers and students have to risk exposure for exams that are administered locally.
Why is it that during this time where cases are spiking so much, that we have students who are doing, the grade 6 students, they're doing a local exam? Why are they in school at this time? I'm asking the Ministry of Education this question, and also asking, can't we make an internal accommodation for them, since that exam is local and run by the Ministry of Education? You know, the SLTU is very appreciative of the impact of exams and the role that exams play. We are very appreciative of that. As a matter of fact, that is also part of the reason our members have made those sacrifices to go into school during this time of pandemic.
Howell says, while the union understands the importance of education, there should always be balance. The SLTU says the relevant authorities need to re-evaluate their approach to education during this pandemic.
It must always be about life and health and safety. And at this point, we believe that the Ministry of Education should revisit how it operationalizes the current SI, and to take decisions that will safeguard everyone. And if we are in a time where we are reducing activity to help reduce the spread of the virus, the decisions taken by the Ministry of Education, they should spare no effort at contributing to that cause.
He says at this point, health should take precedence. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
With time lost from school closures since March 2020, the president of the National Principals Association says that the dates for common entrance examinations this year should be reviewed. Valerie St. Helen Henry appeared as a guest on the hot seat and said that she believes that not all children are on the same footing when it comes to being prepared for the upcoming examinations.
According to the Ministry of Education, they have indicated that the exam is going to be based on what was taught in grade 5 and what is taught in the term 1 of this year. Okay? And so I think the issue of common entrance can take place, but is when. I would hope that based on what we are going through right now, that common entrance, the date at some point, the Ministry of Education and the stakeholders will review and discuss the date to give the teachers ample time to be able to teach whatever the concepts that will be tested. However, the Ministry of Education need to also do their part in carrying out needs assessments of schools to see where they are before they can just establish that this group of students will be writing common entrance.
She says officials should be monitoring and gathering relevant information at schools to ensure that no child is left at a disadvantage.
go and do the monitoring and supervising and finding out, getting data from the teachers so they know that the scope of work that the children have been exposed to will be an honest and fair thing for them and not put them under undue and unnecessary stress. But I believe for sure the date for common entrance, from my point of view personally, should be changed from now. They should be thinking right now that the date need to change, because the children are not on equal playing field and it is not fair to the students, the teachers and the school in general.
Common entrance examinations were scheduled for June 2021. Former Health Minister Alvina Reynolds has called on the government of St. Lucia to make use of all available resources in the fight against COVID-19. Reynolds spoke against the backdrop of the delays of COVID-19 test results. She says the government should solicit the services of private labs.
Over the weekend, the Ministry of Health informed the public of a delay in receiving results of COVID-19 test results. According to the ministry, this delay is due to the large volumes of tests currently being conducted, and informed that measures are being put in place to address the issue. Former Health Minister Alvina Reynolds has called for the involvement of the private sector to assist with the health crisis being faced on Ireland currently.
We have resources within the country that could be accessed. We have private labs that can be accessed by the ministry, have open lines of communication, know how it's going to be done. They have, I think, the capacity to do that, and so they should be used. There is no sense in burdening the staff at the Ezra Long Laboratory, as well as having people to wait that much to get their results. It's causing frustration. It's causing people to behave in manners that they shouldn't, because after 2 weeks they are waiting for their results in quarantine. They don't get it. They're tempted to go out. They get frustrated.
She says seeking help from the private sector should go far beyond the testing for the viral infection.
There are medical personnel within the private sector who have that much expertise as well. So in decision making, in planning, command center, whatever, get some of the private sector personnel involved in the decision making. It's everybody. You take everybody, the expertise from everybody, especially the most experienced ones, who have maybe studied that area of specialization before. Let us get moving. Let us get moving in that regard.
Reynolds says partnerships between the public and private sector have happened before, and in this case will only prove to be beneficial.
These are St. Lucians, who owns the lab. Okay? And they have done it before. The private sector has always been partnering with the public sector, the government sector, as it pertains to health and in a number of other areas, education, business, etc. So why are they excluded now when we have seen now it has reached crisis proportion? It's time, it's a long time that the private sector, the private labs could be brought on board to help move the results very quick, get people their results.
As of Tuesday, 26th January, St. Lucia has recorded 921 confirmed COVID-19 cases and 13 deaths. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
Stay with us. There's more coming up after the break.